Portal 2 is a prime example of how to create a fun and engaging experience with a single toy. While other games boast about their long playtimes and their hundreds of different abilities, Portal 2 shows how you can achieve more with less, focusing on quality over quantity. By having one central toy to drive the rest of the design, a designer can begin to create systems with meaningful dynamic behavior. This is especially important for puzzle design since meaningful dynamics are essential to creating satisfying solutions that are challenging and logical. To figure out how Portal 2 succeeds in creating a puzzle, one can observe the game through the MDA framework, which encompasses the mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics of the game. The level design and objects need to complement the portal gun's mechanics to create interesting dynamics that enhance the aesthetics of the player's experience. In Portal 2, the player uses a portal gun to solve various puzzles. It serves as the central toy for the game, as it allows the player to interact and play with puzzle elements in a unique way. The portal gun can be used to create two portals, one blue and one orange. These two portals act as a doorway from one point in space to another. The player and objects can move freely and seamlessly between these two locations. Players utilize these portals to transport themselves and objects such as cubes through test chambers designed to explore the depth and dynamics of the portal gun. As mentioned before, the player can freely place two portals at a time within the levels of the game. When the first portal is placed, it will be closed. Before the player can move through their portals, both must be placed and exist in the world. If a player places a new portal of the same color as one of their existing portals, then the old portal of that color will be deleted and moved to the new location. This means that at any given time, a maximum of two portals can exist. There are two key limitations to the placement of portals in the levels. Number 1. The player can only create portals on white surfaces. This means that traversal is limited by the presence or lack of portable surfaces in a given location. If there are no portable surfaces where the player wants to go, then they will need to find an alternative means to get there. Number 2. If a player passes through an emancipation grill or fizzler, all existing portals in the level are removed. The player can also not shoot portals or carry objects through fizzlers. The presence of a fizzler will often mean that if a player wants to keep their portals or objects beyond a fizzler, they will need to either find a way around or a means to disable it. Here's a simple level we designed to demonstrate these dynamics at play. The player needs to get a cube past a fizzler to open the exit door. They cannot simply carry the cube through, as it will be destroyed when passing through the fizzler. To solve this puzzle, they must first stand on a button to turn off the fizzler. While standing here, they cannot carry the cube with them, so they instead use portals to circumvent the fizzler entirely. Once these portals are placed, the player can step off the button and carry the cube through with them. This is a simple example of how the simple mechanics of Portal can create interesting puzzle dynamics involving the combination of multiple elements. Each level requires the player to reach and open the exit door. The level design will often pose key parts of the puzzle at varying heights and places that are only accessible through the utilization of portals. This way, the level design invites the player to find a pattern in the environment, drawing attention to the places that are seemingly inaccessible and possess or lack the absence of white walls. Highlighting these aspects of the level helps guide the player into solving the puzzle. Several key dynamics emerge from the combination of momentum and passing through portals. Because momentum is conserved when the player or an object passes through a portal, they can pass through one portal at speed and emerge moving in a different direction with the same speed. This is commonly seen with an entry portal placed on the floor at the bottom of a large jump, allowing the player to build up speed using gravity, and then have that speed redirected to launch to areas previously unreachable. If both portals are placed on the ground, then the player will be launched straight up, allowing them to reach higher ledges. This dynamic offers traversal an additional layer of depth that is not seen in similar 3D puzzle games. The second chamber in Chapter 3 is an example of a level that showcases this dynamic. Here, we'll explain how the level design in this chamber leads the player to find the solution and encourages the exploration of dynamics. In this level, there is a ledge with a cube. The player cannot directly create a portal there due to the absence of white walls. The purpose of this design is to get the player to find another way of getting to that ledge to get the cube rather than a straightforward method. If the player tries to jump there, they will inevitably fall into the pit in front of the ledge. The placement of this pit in front of the ledge is purposeful, as it serves as an obstacle and allusion to the solution. This pit hints to the player that the solution involves falling and utilizing gravity. The player may experiment by creating a portal in that pit and observing what happens when they enter it and exit out of another portal. By falling into a portal created in the pit, the player will figure out that momentum is conserved, as the speed at which they fall is maintained when they exit out of the other portal, propelling them across the level. This way the player discovers and learns a dynamic that they can use to transport themselves to that ledge with the cube. The cube will then be used to solve the rest of the puzzle. What is it about the toy that makes it engaging and entertaining to play with? And how do these mechanics and dynamics of the toy contribute to the game's player experience? The Portal Gun's mechanics allow players to interact with the environment and objects in ways that are engaging and entertaining. These interactions form interesting dynamics that aim to enhance the player's experience. These experiences include subversion, challenge, discovery, exploration, and drama. Subversion and challenge. The mechanics and dynamics of portals play into the experience of subversion, as the very nature of how they work break real-world notions of space, travel time, and accessibility required to move from one point to another. Portals don't exist in real life, so players have to break or pull away from their pre-established understandings and rely on their own experimentation to figure out how portals work with physics, objects, and the environment. This poses an intellectual challenge as players constantly have to dispute their own understanding to solve the puzzle. Discovery and exploration. Portals as a new toy for players provoke interest and curiosity. Players initially won't understand how they work until they experiment. Therefore, a lot of fun can be created for players through experimentation and simply observing how they interact with other objects in the environment. To experiment, they would also need to explore the level, to see where the portal should be placed to solve the puzzle. Traveling across the level is also made fun due to the different ways players can go through a portal. This way, the portals contribute to the player's investment in discovering and exploring within the game. Drama. The portals themselves also offer special means of traversing the environment, such as propelling oneself through the portal. This provides exhilaration and the thrill of getting somewhere fast, similar to how one would feel in a roller coaster ride. One can define this experience as a dramatic spike in the pacing of the game that aims to juxtapose the slower puzzle sections that require careful thought into the challenge presented. Without these fun, fast-paced sections, solving puzzles may feel boring due to the lack of action happening. We believe Portal 2 shows how to create an effective puzzle through subversion. For puzzle games, it is essential to provide a means of subverting players' expectations so that they are intellectually challenged. If all things work as expected, then it would be easier for a player to solve a puzzle. New challenges have to work towards building the player's understanding of the game. Portal 2 has built subversion into its core toy, the Portal Gun, whose very nature defies our understanding of physics. A player can't rely on real-world examples of portals because they don't exist as they do in the game. Puzzles need to subvert players' expectations so that they think beyond their preconceived understandings of reality and the game to discover new dynamics and how they can be used to solve the puzzle. This lesson of subversion can also apply to other genres besides puzzles. For example, the Portal series includes movement and level design that could quite plausibly translate into a more platforming-focused game. This has been proven by the game Aperture Tag, The Power of Paint, where the Portal Gun is replaced by a gel gun that the player can use to place gels that increase their speed or jump height. This game takes the speed and momentum mechanics from Portal and turns them into an entire game. In summary, Portal 2 explores subversion, discovery, exploration, and drama to create a unique and engaging puzzle platformer that will remain a relevant case study in game design for many years to come. It serves as a fantastic example of how substantial depth and dynamics can emerge from several simple ideas that overlap and interact. Its level design, witty humor, and captivating setting has allowed it to transcend the realm of video games into the world of pop culture. There, it will be remembered as one of the most standout puzzle games ever made.